Hey you guys, welcome back to my kitchen, Papa with Mama Soup. Today, what I'm going to do for you guys is a combination of steak, chicken, and shrimp. And yes, we're going to cover it with some yum yum sauce over a bed of rice, and that is for dinner tonight, okay? So, stick with me you guys. The ingredients that we would need for this recipe would be onion powder, okay? Some garlic powder, some sesame seed oil, some light soy sauce. I'm using turmeric, and turmeric I'm using it for my rice, which I've already pre-made. Okay, so we're going to use some tomato paste. Well, not tomato paste, it's like a tomato base basically in a granulated form. We're going to use some thyme, some Lorry's. Yes, some Lorry's, some black pepper, you guys. Smoked paprika, mayonnaise, sea salt, which salt for anyone, and some ketchup. Oh, and don't forget the butter. And I have my tricolor bell peppers here because I like color in my food. And also a red onion, which I have here. Okay, so you guys, let's get started. First, I would like to start with getting my bell peppers chopped up, okay? So, like I showed you in a previous video, I'm going to put it so you can see. Now, I'm going to do this long ways. Why? Is because I wanted to accentuate the steaks, because the steaks will be cut in long form, you know, vertical form, and I want it to actually look good along with the steaks. The chicken, I will show you in a minute, has already been pre-washed with some vinegar and some salt, you know, for the abrasiveness, to clean the chicken real properly. And also my shrimp has been cleaned and devined. So show you that in a minute, guys. I move pretty fast when it comes to cutting, so just watch what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be really perfect, but I try to cut it in pretty much thinner slices so that I make sure that it actually cooks evenly. And it's okay to leave it with a little bit of crisp to it, you know, a little bit of crunch along with your what you would call like stir fry, something like that. So we're moving on to our onion. The reason I chose the red onion is to add a little Asian persuasion flavor into my dish. And then it's a little, I believe it's a little potent than the actual yellow onion. So again, I'm doing it in long slices, which is, this is like a half moon slice. Like so. You can see it. Okay, so, and that was half of an onion, pretty large onion actually. Put that into the bowl, into the mixture. Now we are going to actually do my steaks. Now I've had this steak washed and it's been sitting in some light soy sauce, only to absorb the flavor of the soy sauce, okay? So I'm going to do this one at a time. I have two of them actually, so they're actually pretty tender cuts of steak. It's the chuck steak actually. Let's scoop that up. put it back in my bowl. Let's see if I can cut some of these longer ways too. Alright, you guys, so I'm now going to cut up my chicken. You guys, make sure that you clean your cutting board in between cutting your meat, your red meat from your chicken meat. And this chicken meat that I'm using is thighs. And the reason why I chose thighs are because they are a little bit more juicier than the actual breast. And if you want to use chicken breast, then you can with this dish. But I choose to use chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs, already come in the your local supermarket or whatever, and you know, you go clean it. I leave just a little bit of the fat on it. Why? Because when I use it in my wok, it'll create its own oil, you know, per se, as me cooking it in the sesame seed oil. So I have 4 of these little chicken thighs, and I'm just cutting it into little strips. This meal is going to be so delicious, I can already tell. And they are going to tear it up, tear it up, tear it up. Okay, so finish cutting the chicken thighs. Put it in my bowl. Now I didn't pre-season these because I'm not going to put too much you know, bold flavors. It's going to be medium bold, but I still like it flavorful, you know what I mean? So after you cut your chicken breasts, and I mean not chicken breasts, chicken thighs, I'm sorry. Chicken thighs, like I said, my shrimp has already been washed and dried and deveined, so I don't have to do anything with those just yet. Now what we're going to do as I continue, I'm going to show you how I make my yum yum sauce. But before we do that, I am going to go ahead and show you how to get started with this delicious, delectable dish. Okay, you guys, so now we are at my wok. On the stove, we're going to put it at the number 6. Like I said, if you're using an electric stove, that's the number you're going to put it on. So it's kind of like a medium to high heat. Make sure your wok is nice and warm. I'm testing the temperature when I go like that, but I'm not putting my hand in the pot or in the pan. So once it gets to its desired temperature you want it, because we're going to start browning our meat. I think first I would like to do my chicken. I think that's what I'm going to do. Start with my chicken. You guys, please excuse my dog. It's making a lot of noise outside. Okay, I think my pan is hot enough. I'm going to drizzle just a little bit of that sesame seed oil into it. Now, sesame seed oil basically is oriental seasoning. You know, it brings a certain type of flavor to your dish. Like I said, I'm going for that oriental flavor. And the sesame seed oil kind of smell like peanut a little bit. So I'm going to place my chicken into my pan. And you don't have to put all your pieces in at once, but make sure your pan is nice and hot. And what I want to do is do this for about 5 to 8 minutes in this wok. And just get it browning. because I'm going to add it in with the steak and the shrimp, and it's going to all marry together and cooking. So stay tuned. Onto my steak, and just a drop of the sesame oil. Switch that around the pan. Yes, I'm still using the same pan I put my chicken in, or the same, leftover seasoning. The pan is nice and hot. Drop my steak in there. And let that begin to start browning. Here's my chicken so far. How that look. And remember, I didn't cook it till it's full timing, only because I'm going to add all the rest of the ingredients all together right before I do the shrimp, because shrimp is the one that's going to take the least amount of time to cook. So I don't want my shrimp to overcook, because I don't want it to be rubbery. I want everything to taste and cohesiveness with its freshness, and just good, real good for the taste buds. So we're going to let that cook for about, same, 5 to 8 minutes. On medium to high heat. And we shall return. Stay tuned, you guys. Okay, so a little bit about this rice, you guys. I have made a parboiled pot of rice. I've added some turmeric to it, some butter, and some, it is called a cilantro paste. Have you ever heard of it? Actually, it's pretty good for rice, soup, stews, and everything else. So here is it. Here it is. Goya cilantro paste. Yes, it is good for your rice. This rice will be packed with flavor of its own. With the butter, you can actually use it to make a Caribbean rice that I make, one of my recipes, and I'll do a video on that too. So check that out, to be coming. My own very own Caribbean rice. It's looking pretty good, you guys. And this is at your about 6-7 minutes mark. Almost done. This is how you want it to look, guys. While that's finishing up the last 2 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make homemade yum yum sauce. Stay tuned. Alright, you guys, so now we are going to start our yum yum sauce while the steak is cooking for its last 2 minutes. So we will start off with some mayo. This mayo in particular has sugar in it, some type of sweetness, because it's the whipping kind, like Miracle Whip. So the recipe has sugar in it, but we're going to skip the sugar part and use this this whip. So I'm going to scoop out about, let's see, a half a cup of mayo. I'm getting all this mayo on my hand. Forgive me, you guys. Okay. Take that aside. Top, wipe my hands off. Okay. Now that we put the mayo inside of the bowl, we're going to add some melted butter, which is 2 tablespoons. or you can use 1 tablespoon. But 2 tablespoons is what I'm using in this recipe today. I'm going to add in some onion powder. About a tablespoon. A teaspoon, I'm sorry. About a teaspoon. And about a teaspoon of the garlic powder. Now, the paprika that I'm using is smoked paprika, so keep that in mind. It's smoked paprika, okay? Paprika, we're going to put about a teaspoon of that. Okay. We're going to add salt and pepper to taste, so actually you have to eyeball your salt and pepper. I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt, which actually I like measuring in my hand, so I can just pinch at it. Pinch of salt. All right. And next we're going to add some ketchup. Now you're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of this ketchup. I am just going to eyeball it, which I kind of got an idea what a 1/4 of a teaspoon is. So I'm just giving you guys an illustration. It's just a little bit of ketchup, just like that. And now I'm going to mix it. Now, if you ever had yum yum sauce at a Japanese steakhouse restaurant, you know exactly why people go crazy about yum yum sauce. I know I do. I love yum yum sauce. It's good on shrimp, steak, chicken, you know. That's why I'm putting the yum yum sauce on my food tonight. Okay. After you stir it all up, and it's going to give it a little tint color, which kind of pinkish, not red. You're not looking for red, kind of pinkish white. If I can say for a color, maybe peach. That's just me. But you just whip it real good. Don't be afraid to give your sauce a little taste. I always use my pinky. It's just about right. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more ketchup and paprika to it. Just a dab of ketchup. And a little paprika. The last ingredient we're going to use is a tablespoon of water, which I got in my little helpful cup here. A tablespoon of water. And whip it on up. That water helps it to loosen up some, you know? You want it to be like a sauce, real saucy. Okay, and this is how it should look, you guys. See how it just falls off the whip? It's not liquidy, but it's, you know, enough. It's a sauce, you know what I mean? Like it could cover the back of a spoon, okay? So that's the consistency what you're looking for. Now that we got that all done, that steak is done, you guys. Don't want to overcook it. Don't scoop it up. Put it into the bowl with the chicken. Now remember, it's going to cook with the chicken into my pan. I'm using canola oil. I don't find canola oil to be that flavorful. So it's like a mild flavor, basically. I'm getting my pan ready for my vegetables. So you're going to add your trio in your mix right now. Add that on in there. Remember when I said earlier in the video, you don't want it to be very, very translucent, but somewhat with a little crunch. And I believe a pan like the wok would do it. Now, you guys, I couldn't sit in my wheelchair to do this wok method, so I had to pivot standing up to do this part, right? Let it rest for a minute, and we'll continue. I'm going to sprinkle just a tad bit of salt onto my vegetables as it cooks. Just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to overdo it. Now just to bring the flavor out into the vegetables. Okay. I'm going to put my soy sauce. And just drizzle a little bit of soy sauce in my vegetables. I'm using light soy sauce, and that's going to help it to cook down just a tad bit. We're going to give it another 3 minutes, and then it'll be ready to enter the chicken and the steak. Looking good, you guys. All right. Looking steak and chicken right into this mix. Okay. The shrimp. Okay, you guys, here's the ending results of the steak, shrimp, and chicken delight. Now we're going to add some of this yum yum sauce on top.
Gotta keep this yum yum sauce